Hi, this is Shane from Shane's Reviews, and ooh, we need to talk about something. We need to talk about Dune 2021. Now, on a whim, about a week ago, I went and watched that with Schmo, which I don't know if he wants to be up here or not, but there he is. And so he brought a friend of his, and that was kind of cool because we all got to sit down and watch it, and they didn't know anything about Dune. So whatever we got done, they were like, "Hey, Dune, this seems like a really slow ramp up to something." And I was like, yeah, because I hadn't watched any of the reviews, I hadn't watched any of the trailers. I just saw Dune, and if you guys have been here long enough, you know that I'm going to watch it if it says Dune. We go and we watch it, and wow, that was kind of a interesting experience. I'm not going to say anything bad about it at all. It was done in a very epic way, and I'm glad that it wasn't the entire story, because if they did it on the same timetable as which they were recording and showing things, it would have been a 10-hour event. It's long on the wrong time, and it covers probably the first quarter to the first third of the book. And I'm not really worried about spoilers, because if you've read the books, then this will really resonate with you. My question for you guys and gals out there that have read Dune and have watched the movie is, what's your thoughts? What's your input on it? Personally, I quite dug it. It's kind of one of those things where sometimes whenever you watch a movie, or you've seen a movie, or you read a book, or listen to a book, you'll get particular voices or particular faces associated to different characters, and it can be a distraction, really. It can take away from it, and then, this person's performance wasn't as good as this, or whatever. I was absolutely unaffected by that in this, because I think it could be because I went in absolutely blind. I didn't know what to expect. The way that it was shot, the color schemes, the subtle changes in color grades, and the performances of the people were really good. There's another thing to know. If you go and watch that in the Dolby Atmos, you might want to take some earplugs. It's not that I'm getting too old, but the place that I saw that at, they somehow figured out how to make a new sound scale. Because, everybody knows the joke from audio where, let's crank it up to 11. Well, Jesus Christ, they cranked it to 14. And the thing is, with it being that loud, the voice effects, because that was something that they did completely different. The voice effects, where they're using the voice to control people. My God, man, that was a special kind of loud. So just a warning on that. But beyond that, one thing I would pick apart is the woman that played Paul's... Alright, so Rebecca Ferguson. See, whenever I've read the books and everything, Lady Jessica is absolutely in control of herself. There's not a whole lot of the weak... There wasn't any of that self-defeating stuff in the ones that I've seen in the past with people that played that. Now, there is an emotional component to her, and this might have been a choice of the director or the screenwriter or whatever, but I really think that it did Lady Jessica a disservice in this, because she was by no means a weak person. She was a very strong character in the books, and I really liked that. To see her breaking down on the screen, like every other shot, was really just not doing it for me, because that's not the way that character was at all. Maybe it's because they're trying to... I don't know, it's just, it wasn't in the books, and maybe it was just like an artistic decision to show that character in a different light, maybe more motherly, but she really, everything, she had a lot of hats that she wore in the books, even if she wasn't like the main focus. All these things, all these scenes, all the years of reading those books, she was not that character. So that's the one thing I would pick apart. But we were kind of stoked. We were really excited once we got out of the movie, because even though it was long, it didn't feel that like it was that long. There was a couple of scenes that drag out in it, but it was things where they were setting the grandiose nature of what Dune is and the epicness of that story through a visual means. Hans Zimmer, wow, man. Well played. all angles well played. And I also kind of like the redesign of the sets and like the architecture inside of it, because don't get me wrong, the first one was good, but with CGI these days, some of the stuff that they can pull off is just absolutely phenomenal, and they didn't come up short on that. One of the questions that was asked to me by Schmo was, why no technology? And it hadn't even dawned on me. But in the movie, they didn't even mention the whole reason why somebody had black lipstick here or a diamond here. They didn't mention the abolishment of technology, of computers. It was one of those things where it was just glanced and done. It's one of those things that was just, it wasn't filled out enough, in my personal opinion. Now, the whole reason why I bring that up is, like I said, they had asked me, why the sword play? Why so much of that? Why so many knives and blades? So these are things that I was like, oh, hey, this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So I kind of filled in the gaps for them. And we kind of made a pact that on 2023, when the next one comes out, we'll go watch that one too. But it was a nice little retelling of the story. It kind of breathed some fresh air back into it for me. So maybe I'll pick up on where I was reading and share some more of my thoughts on those. As far as like other people that was in this story, I think that Oscar Isaac absolutely nailed being Leto. However, the liberties that were took, I feel, are absolutely justified, because it is movie, it is film, and it doesn't transfer the same as rote media does. So I applaud it. I think it's a really good adaptation from the source material. It stays really true to it. And there was a couple people that was at the theater as they were walking out. They were trying to pretend like they were aficionados of the original books and said that it was nothing like the original books. You are wrong. And I called you out, and you know who you were. So this person started going on about things, and they were completely not right. And they were trying to tell their friends, and they were doing it in a way which was turning their friends off to Dune. So I straightened it up real quick. I got the things proper and fixed, and then I could see that little spark of interest coming back, and I was like, yes, conversions, go me. But anyway, the long of it all is, I enjoyed it. It was a pretty good experience. I've been watching a lot of like at-home theater, but forgot what it was like to be in the theater, and I missed that a lot. So remember, mask, wash your hands, all that kind of a thing. If you're not vaccinated, please do get vaccinated, because you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for everybody around you. So, I love your faces. If you made it this far and you didn't unsubscribe and kick me out the window for saying something that's scientifically backed, then you're welcome to say, please hit that subscribe button. I love you very much. Till the next time that we go to the movies, what's some that you guys would like to see us maybe watch then review? There we go. That'll work. Bye. Have a good weekend.